you show me how do you enrich a list? And I sat there and I showed them how to enrich the list, and they're like, okay, do it for me. And he's like, and also, by the way, you need to start showing people how to do this because more people need this. So if you need this, just write enrich in the chat, and I'll send you more details about how to enrich your list. But the first step that you need to do is you need to remove all your connections from LinkedIn, from Google, from Facebook, from all the different places, put it into a sheet. Because once it's in a sheet, from that sheet, it's much easier to send to different places, like to artificial intelligence, to data repositories, all over the place. So you got to get all your information into one place. And then from there, we can go off and start, matching and comparing and enriching and evaluating and segmenting and doing all types of things with our data. But the problem is we don't have our data in one place. And so if you want to be able to do this, the first step is to get your data into one place, and that's to get a connections dashboard. If you want me to help you with a dashboard, just write dashboard in the chat. I'll be happy to help you with a dashboard. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen, show you a couple things that I'm going to do right now. So first of all, I'm just going to share this window right over here. So as you can see, I just have a sheet over here. This is a list of all my connections. This is called the connections dashboard, where you have first name, last name, URL, company, position, connected on date. I also have a little button that when you click on this, it automatically does a Google search for any of these people. And I also want to be able to filter by year. And if you go to data, not data, is it data? Yeah, there's a button here called column stats that tells you how many people you connected on each year. So I see 2018 was my best year ever. It's because when I discovered how to be able to import lists into LinkedIn and automatically connect with people, I did the same thing in 2019. So I was able to connect with thousands of people in just 1 year. And that's really helped me accelerate who I'm connected to strategically, because I took the list of the Inc. 5000 both in 2018 and 2019, and I was able to import that into LinkedIn, and that helped me significantly be able to get the right type of people to be connected to the right type of people. So the people that I'm connected to before 2018, I'm going to do an analysis of those people, segment those people out, and then evaluate those people inside my CRM. So I can pull up my CRM and kind of show you how I do that evaluation. But if you want to see that evaluation, just let me know in the chat, say evaluation, and I'll be happy to share with you that. So now I have a bunch of people over here that I need enriching. So I got first name, last name, email. Some of them I have domain names. Some of them I don't even have first and last name. So I'm going to run it through an API right now using make.com. So what is make.com? Let me quickly explain this to you. Let me stop sharing my screen for just a second. Make.com is a no-code automation platform, kind of like Zapier, that helps you be able to connect many pieces of data together. So if I want to be able to connect, say, a spreadsheet to an API, to be able to go to ChatGPT or to Perplexity or to wherever it is, and to be able to make sense of that data, I can use a tool like make.com. And there's many others. There's like dozens of other tools like this in the market. But this one allows you to have 1,000 operations per month for free. So I like testing things out using this particular tool. So over here, I have a scenario. And in my scenario, I simply have 3 modules. Module 1 is a spreadsheet to try to find anybody that has the word enriched in it. So for example, in this spreadsheet, I'm going to write yes to enrich. Let's say, for example, this. I'm going to say yes to enrich this. And I'm just going to say yes to, like, let's say these over here. Okay, let's just take these over here, for example. So this is a total of 13 of these. And I'm just going to hit run once. Now what this is going to do is it's going to spin around and it's going to say, did you find one? Did it have a yes by enrich? Did it enrich it? Did it have a LinkedIn URL? And then for each one, it kind of puts it in here. So let's just see what it's doing in real time. So you see all these are filling it out, and there's only a couple more. So these over here, it wasn't able to find Gary's and Ryan's. So if it can't find Gary's and Ryan's, I can run it through another automation that uses a different data source that will help me be able to identify Gary and Ryan's information. It also, let's see, it also wasn't able to find out Jordan's. Okay, so it wasn't able to do Jordan, Gary, and who else? Okay, a couple more it wasn't able to do. So let's try to find another data source so that we can see if we can actually find these people's information. And sometimes the reason it can't find it is because, you have a Gmail account, you don't have a domain name. I could also have AI go to the internet and search, for those people that failed to enrich. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply use a different data source. Now, I have been researching data sources. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I've been researching different data sources, and I've researched over a dozen data sources in the past couple weeks to try to identify the best places to find the best data. And I can tell you right now, there's a lot of dirty data out there. There's a lot of dirty data out there. If you want to attend a webinar where I teach you all the different data sources and which ones are what, I'm preparing a presentation. Just write data in the chat and I'll teach you how to do that if you're interested. But you can get APIs to different data sources, and there's different prices. For example, Rocket Reach, they have an API. It ties right into make.com. It costs $1 for each enrichment. They charge you $1 every time you try to enrich something. That's not a terrible price, considering the fact that sometimes you want to be able to find someone's contact information and you're willing to pay $1 for someone to go out and find it. Over here, you just push a button and it just finds it. Do you get what I'm saying? So for some people, it would make sense. Put a dollar sign if you're willing to pay to get your leads enriched. Now, some data sources, for example, let's just say People Data Labs, whatever, that one costs 25 cents per contact. So you can get someone's contact information, including cell phone number, email address, whatever, for 25 cents. There are other places that charge 10 cents. And also there are places, depending on the volume that you get, the more volume you get each month, and if you subscribe to it instead of just paying for credits, you'll get more data. So for example, Zoom Info, they want you to have a big account with them, like spend $5,000 a year with them. Apollo charges, from $49 up to $99 a month, and they let you access data. Again, a lot of this data is going to be dirty data, but if you want to be able to just pull in information like somebody's industry or somebody's LinkedIn URL, and then you can use other APIs to kind of crawl their LinkedIn URL and try to find out more information about what's going on with them currently. And also, a lot of people haven't even updated their LinkedIn yet, and so that data might also be outdated. So then we'll go to Twitter, we'll go to Facebook, we'll go to Instagram, we'll have a human researcher be able to check in on it. We'll have an AI researcher do searches on, say, Claude, Copilot, Meta, Grok, Perplexity. It depends on what you want to invest, because every time you search costs tokens, and tokens cost money. So if you have any questions, put the questions down below. I'm going to review all the questions later, but I just want to show you this backup data source here. And the backup data source allows me to use another data source over here. So I'm just going to quickly hit run. Oh, you're not seeing my screen. Somebody said, okay, let me just quickly show you my screen. So this is another data source. This is a backup data source. It's basically doing the same thing. It's going to search through the same sheet, look for anybody that says yes, and when I hit run, it's going to run the code. And this is going to do, I'm going to do 3 here, just simply because I only have 3 there. I don't need to write 3. I can just write 28, and it'll only find the 3 that makes sense. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to press run once, and let's just see if it finds 3 of them. It found 1. It's going to do its thing. It found 2. And it found 3, and it wasn't able to find the LinkedIn URLs for them either. So second data source failed as well. Now I can add a third data source. I can add a fourth data source. I can add a fifth data source. I could add as many data sources as I want, and each data source will use credits to go and search and find that person's LinkedIn URL based on their email. Now, if all the data sources failed, I can then use more advanced solutions that will search specific databases. I'm not sure if all the databases are GDPR compliant. I know that the ones that I'm using are GDPR compliant. So it's doing crawls on the internet, and it's doing all types of things like that. They write on their website, GDPR compliant. They do the job to be GDPR compliant. I don't need to do the job, because that's why I'm using APIs, because otherwise, you can get in trouble if you're storing data and, like you're storing it in a non-safe way and sharing it in a non-safe way. So it's important for you to, when you're doing things, to do it in a way that the laws of the countries that you're operating in, and so on and so forth. So just, whenever you're doing this, make sure that you're using reputable companies that have certifications and that have verifications, and then they're using data in a responsible way, because they say the data's the new gold. I don't know if you agree with this. Just write data's gold in the chat at the bottom if you believe that data's gold. Or just write data's old if you believe. Forget about the data. The data doesn't matter. So let me know what you think. Let me know which one you think is better. Now, I have an automation that I created that basically will check one data source, another data source, another data source, another data source. It'll kind of go from one data source to the other. We're not going to be using that automation right now, but if I really wanted to, that possibility is there. So let's go back in and try to let's see what the limit is on how many you can do. Like if somebody's like, okay, so you can do 40, you can do 30. Like how quickly can you really start enriching a list? Like can you do 100? So let's test this out. Let's go in here. Let's do 100. Let's do 100 over here. So we're going to change the maximum amount of rows that it can find that have the word yes in it to 100. You see that? I'm going to press OK. And now it's going to search 100 rows over here. Now it needs to find rows that are yes. I'm just going to write failed here. I can have the automation automatically write failed. I didn't want to use another operation for that. So I got 2 that failed over here. I thought I had 3 that failed. Didn't I have another one that failed somewhere here? Okay, failed. Let me see if I can find any more yeses. Okay, I'm also going to search just the entire row for yes. So the way that you do that is you click here, click on this little filter button, you blank. Okay, so I see I have no yeses here, so that's good. I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to put in a bunch of yeses. So we're going to put 100 yeses now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hit Control C, copy, Control Shift V, paste. Okay, so now I just did 617 yeses over here. Now I do have a limit with my API as to how much I can attack it. You know, they don't allow me to attack it more than X amount per hour, more than X amount per day. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll 100 right now just to kind of see what the deal is. And then I'm gonna scrub this list against another list that has all the LinkedIn connections. So I can scrub it against my connections dashboard. I can scrub it against his connection dashboard and so on. So I'm gonna go back in here to enrich, and I'm just gonna run this list of 100. And it's going to go ahead and start burning operations. So it's doing 2, 3, and you can see it in real time. I like watching the spreadsheet in real time getting populated. And what information am I getting about these people? So I'm getting their location, their title. I'm getting their skills. I'm getting the name of their company. I'm getting their company LinkedIn page. I'm getting a little bit about information about their company that I can use with AI. I'm getting their industry. There's so much details that I'm getting over here. And then I can take this list, identify the people that I want to enrich further, and then I can even go a step deeper, which means allows me to be able to create all types of data. So you see, it's just burning it up over here. It's just burning it up and just adding and adding and adding and adding. And this came literally just from an email address. It's only looking at the email address field. I added the name for some people, and I added the domain, but the domain came from the email address. Like, you know, sometimes people have their first and last name in the email address. And so that's the source of everything. So if you give me just a raw list of email addresses, I can pull all this data directly from this. And some of this data costs almost nothing to be able to put together. You know, some APIs charge a fraction of a penny to be able to do this. Some APIs are like $1. I think that's the most expensive one, was $1. I mean, if you're using a human to do this and it takes them, you know, they cost you like $20 an hour, and they spend an hour researching a person and putting this all together, it would cost you $20 per contact. And for some people, it's worth doing that. You know, like if you have a solid list, an ABM strategy that you're targeting 100 companies, and you have 3 people per company that you really want to go deep with, you know, you can also use a platform that will automatically scrape things, and you know, we'll be able to. You can use Chrome extensions that will scrape websites, and we'll do all types of stuff like that. So there's a lot of opportunity to be able to do these things very, very quickly. And so I would highly recommend you look into these tools and you learn how to use them, because it can really be a game changer for your business. If you're in the business of, hey, I need to do prospecting, I need to do networking, I need to do marketing, you know, like, so these are the things that you would need to do as part of it. One of the most important things that you can have for your business is a list, a solid list of prospects, or a solid list of people that you want to network with. I mean, take a look at your Google contacts. How many contacts do you have in your Google contacts? Are they clean? Have you done research on them? Are you connected to them on LinkedIn? What if you had a solution that allowed you to automatically grab all your LinkedIn contacts, all your contacts from your iPhone. It allowed you to grab all your or Facebook, all your WhatsApp, all your LinkedIn, put everything in one place, organize it, connect everything together, enrich everything. How cool would that be? Wouldn't that be a great solution? I would like to build that eventually. That's something that I once put together a prototype for back in 2014. I put together a prototype. I hired a full-time developer named Andre. Andre, hi, Andre, awesome guy. He worked in my office on Nostrand Avenue. And he sat down for a year building the software. I called it Intro Moose. I know it's a very silly name. Intro Moose is a silly name, but I like being silly. So I sat down with him for a year and we built out this thing. And I've been thinking about this for the past decade. And finally, with AI, now it really makes sense to have this. Like if you have dirty data and you send AI a bunch of dirty data, it's going to create a bunch of garbage for you. But if you can clean up your data and you can identify your proper connections dashboard, and by the way, if you want a dashboard, just write the word dashboard in the chat. Happy to send you details about how I can build you a dashboard that is enrichable. That's the key. The key is you want a dashboard that looks good, that's enrichable. And I'm going to be, I just talked to my team and we created a roadmap for making this available inside Evie AI. And so if you want it, just write Evie AI in the chat, EVY AI in the chat. I'll know that you want the pro version of Evie AI. So there's going to be the premium version, which we currently offer. And there's going to be the pro version, which is going to be much more intensive with the server. So it's going to be a little bit more money, but it's going to be worth it. I mean, every single operation that you do, every time you want to enrich a contact, or every time you want to add, let's say you have hundreds of connections or thousands of connections and you want to do something with them, it's going to cost an operation. So I'm going to have to charge money for the server to be able to do all that. So it's going to cost more. People are like, why do things cost money? It's just, you should see the server costs. You should see the cost of the AI. It's ridiculous. Every single thing costs money. Every time you send a token to an AI, that costs money. Every time it costs to get the AI to do it, but it also costs for the automation and for the server and for the storage and for the bandwidth. I mean, all that costs money. And every single time you log in, that costs money. Every single time you log into Evie AI, it costs money. Every time you log into a server. So even right now, as I'm using this, I'm paying Restream.io to stream to you. And that costs money. LinkedIn costs money. All of it costs money. So it's just interesting how like some people have a mindset of like, I'm not willing to pay for software. But software costs money. Like if you want good software, someone has to pay for it. You could be selling your data, giving away your data. That is giving away something. That is money. What do you think you're doing with Facebook? What do you think you're doing with LinkedIn? If you're doing it for free, you're not doing it for free. You're giving them data. You're helping them. So you are paying them. You're paying them with your attention. You're paying them with your participation. You're paying them in many different ways with your activity. So that information is valuable to LinkedIn. They resell it to recruiters. They resell it to marketers. They resell it to sales organizations. They resell it to the credit bureaus. Like think about that. Those are the things that I think about in terms of like, okay, so it costs money to have a dashboard. It costs money to enrich. And how much can I possibly charge for that where I'm not losing money? So when I launched Evie AI, it was just a loss, charging 50 cents a day, just a loss. But how can I really do it in a profitable way so that I can scale? You can't scale a business that's losing money. You're just going to lose money if you have more customers. So it's scary to scale that business. But if you're a profitable business and you're making good money, and when you're getting to a certain scale, we now have over 12,000 users. When you're getting over to a certain scale, you can really make an impact. Not everyone's going to use up all the operations, but you need to factor in that a large percentage of your users, if you have something that's good, are going to be raving fans. The way that they knew that the iPhone was good is that they had a small group of people using the iPhone obsessively for many, many hours a day. And so they knew they had something that was going to go viral. The key is not selling things. The key is giving value to people, offering them something that they're going to use, and building something takes a long time. Building something real takes a long time. It takes a lot of talent. It takes a lot of effort to do it securely, to think of every possible thing that might happen. Building a product is not like something that just happens on its own. It's something that takes a lot of effort and energy and a lot of work to put together, the craftsmanship to put together a product that actually works. There's a lot of people that go into it, from user experience to strategy to market research to customer service to marketing to affiliates to development to back end to front end to like, there's so much that goes into every little detail, every little feature. Like, you add one little feature, it adds a tremendous amount of complexity when you add a feature. And sometimes that's why I see LinkedIn removing features. Sometimes they add a feature and then they remove the feature because of the level of complexity that happens. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed listening to my musings. And I hope you enjoyed watching me enrich some data. I'm going to go finish enriching data. I have another sheet that somebody sent me with data that they need enriched. So if you need a strategy for LinkedIn, just write strategy in the chat or message me. Say, Joe, I need a LinkedIn strategy. If you need a dashboard, just write dashboard in the chat. I'll help you build out a dashboard. Export your connections. And the reason I want to help people with this is because you don't have a list. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't properly reach out to somebody, to a group of people, and have proper messaging if you're not sure who you're messaging, because then you're just spamming. That's what the definition of spam is. The definition of spam is sending irrelevant messages to people, not trying to scam them. They're scams. That's different. Not all spam is scams. Did that come out right? Not all spam is a scam. Not all spam is a scam. Yo, not all spam is a scam. Yo, not all spam is a scam. Sometimes spam is just either someone who's lazy, someone who's doing unintelligent marketing, someone who's desperate, someone who doesn't know better, uninformed. Lack of personalization is spam. Irrelevancy is spam. You don't want to be spamming. You don't want to walk over to a stranger and here's the thing is, when you could know, when you have the ability, when you have AI and data and APIs and you have the ability to know better, the data's right there. Like, you could have known better. You had the data. Like, if you didn't have the data and you just put an ad in the paper and you send the paper, kids are reading the paper and the ad's irrelevant to kids, I get it. There's no way to know. But now there's a way to know. You know who's in your CRM. You know who opened. You know who you're connected to on LinkedIn. You can run queries. Maybe you didn't know that was possible, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to advise you and to let you know what is possible so that you're more relevant, so that you can add more value to the right people and ignore the wrong people. I don't know what just happened there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again soon. Boom. Oh, you want to see EVAI in action? Why not? Why not? Check this out. Check this out. Let's go. How could I not? How could I not? How could I not? Let's go. Let's go see first of all if there's any comments over here. Sometimes there's comments, sometimes there's not. Either way, whatever. If there was a comment, great. I'll look into it. If there was a like, if you want to like it, go ahead. I'll like my own post. Look at this. I'll give myself a heart. Look at that. We have a like over here. Beautiful. By the way, we have a 5-day challenge. So if you haven't joined the 5-day challenge, I recommend joining the 5-day challenge. Look at this. Look at the conversations happening under my post over here. Look at this wonderful conversation. So what is EVAI? Let me just show you how it works. I see Brandon posted something. I click like. Now I want to leave a comment. I click comment. I click the little comment box over here. Let me see if this will load. My LinkedIn's having a little bit of a heart attack. Oop, I have a call starting in 3 minutes. This is not working. Looks like my LinkedIn's having a heart attack. My LinkedIn's not working right now. Yeah. If you want a LinkedIn AI assistant to help you do the following, it'll help you save profiles into lists. I'll show you in the back end what that looks like. So if I click on login, you'll notice over here I have saved profiles. These are my saved profiles. So if I want to see, let's say, for example, I want a list of people that are friends, partners, people that are in the engagement circle, people that are in network in action. I just click on that. Oh, Eric is in network in action. Okay. I click on him. Now I can see all his posts. And with a click of a button, I'm able to engage with his posts. I just click on this little purple icon. I hit generate. And then it'll write a comment. And then I just paste. You see that? I just posted. So that was 58 minutes ago, Eric posted. And the only way I knew is because I went into Evie AI. So now let's say, for example, I want to see the people that are in brand built. So I see all these people that are in brand built, right? So I just go to see recent activity. Let's see, he hasn't posted in 4 months. I already like that post. Moving on. Next person. Looks like this guy posted 2 hours ago. Great. I'm gonna go ahead and leave a comment. If you're not using Evie AI, highly, highly recommend it. Highly recommend. This saves me so much time. And I just go through this one at a time. Just like that. Look how incredible this is, the ability to be able to stay top of mind with, and these people are posting often. You know, he reposted this. I see he's reposting his stuff. I'm not going to comment on a repost. So moving on. I don't comment on reposts that much. Sometimes I'll do it, but most of the time I want to comment on original content. Like Adam, I see he posted 2 hours ago. I'm going to go ahead and drop a comment. Just like that. Okay, well, hopefully you found this valuable. If you did, give us a like, hit the repost button.